I'm going to talk about ADA or Cardano, and specifically the majority of this video is going to be about price predictions and key target levels to start getting out of ADA and Cardano. First, I'm going to talk a little bit about the company and the founder, just generally for those who aren't familiar, some of the recent things they've done, and then we'll get into the money. Big dumb animal, don't do what I do. That's my disclaimer. Please hit that like button. It greatly helps me out. And if you want to see this ugly mug show up in your feed, you got to hit the subscription button. That's not really a selling point, is it? But please do. Okay, so let's talk about ADA, Cardano. Been around for a while. I have some. I did not buy it for this bull run. I don't dislike it. I just think others will outperform it. That's my personal opinion. So if you look at ADA right now in terms of market cap, 34 billion, it's number 10. So it's in the top 10. Impressive. And it is an impressive layer one. It's fifth on the list of layer ones, at least on CoinGecko. Let's talk a little bit about the background. Proof of stake. Founded in 2015. We'll talk about the founder in a minute. Charles Hoskinson. Hopefully I pronounced that properly. And he was one of the founding members of Ethereum. Now, if you go to the Cardano website, cardano.org, it is a plethora of information because they've been around for a while. They do a great job. I love the way they organize it, particularly the blog, because the blog has weekly development updates. For example, here's the most recent one, and they always have one of these little charts, which shows you just some of the key highlights and statistics, projects that are building on it, wallets, all that sort of thing. And recently, one of their major updates was the Hydra, or is the Hydra. They have different names for different things. Generally speaking, Hydra upgrade brings key changes ahead of the Chang fork. What was it for? It was to improve transaction efficiency and address withdrawal delays. They constantly make changes and add things. Let's talk about the founder, Charles Hoskinson. He was original Ethereum co-founder, having worked alongside Vitalik and others to build Ethereum, and then he had left. And Cardano in general, what's interesting is it was founded on peer review research and developed through evidence-based methods, combines pioneering technologies. Okay, so there's the background of it. Created a while ago, proof of stake, peer review research, one of the individuals that founded Ethereum. It's got great bones. I think it's a great network. I think it's going to be around for a long time. I'm just not looking at it as something I think is going to make big dollars. But I have some. So let's get to the price predictions. So here's Cardano ADA. Now you're going to notice something. I just drew some Fibonacci lines here. I do mine somewhat different than I think many because I'm old and I need things to be a little more simplistic, so I like to use percentages, and I'm using these expansion lines. Normally Fibonacci gives you an idea of when to get out, when to get in, when to get out based on these various levels for more short-term type trades. But you can use these higher expansion levels to give you a general idea of where you think it might go. It has to do with psychology and Fibonacci series numbers found all over the place, nature, you name it. Now, how did I draw this? Well, also, how you draw it matters. You can draw it on many of these various upticks and retracements. I happen to take the most recent in the last year or so for this bull run low of, I think it was 0.32 and high of 1.327. So I took the high and the low and I said, okay, for this bull run, where does that leave us? Now, some people might go all the way back to the last bull run and say, no, you got to draw this top and this bottom to see where it would go. Here's why I'm not doing that. Well, for a couple reasons. One, I believe a lot of things have changed between the last bull run and now. But let's take a look at this. 1.327 at the 100% level. The next level here, I've got it in my notes, I looked at 1.95. Again, assuming I drew this right. So generally speaking. Then we have 2.95, we have 3.95, we have 4.6. Okay, so if it were to get to around 4 or 4.6, you're looking at a 400% gain. Does that seem realistic? I always talk about forest and trees. This is a tree. We're looking at one specific thing. Now let's back up and talk about the forest. So the forest is total 3 and total. So total 3 is everything other than Bitcoin and Ethereum. Well, if we look at total 3, it's around $1 trillion. And if we believe it's going to get up to 4 trillion, let's say, that number is just in my mind, I don't know why. Then, well, what does that mean for the entire market? Okay, so the total market itself, let's look at that. And why did I just look at, I should say, total 3? It excludes Bitcoin, it excludes Ethereum, and I said, in my mind, Cardano is going to perform as the market performs. I don't think it will outperform the market. I'm hoping it won't underperform. So let's just take the assumption that it performs with the market. So we're basically saying, well, if we think ADA is going to 400% and it's part of that altcoins, then we believe that the altcoin will 400%. That took us from 1 trillion to 4 trillion. Okay, we'll back up even further and let's look at everything and say, is that even possible? Total market, 3.28 trillion. Now, that's the total market. Let's back out Bitcoin and let's back out Ethereum. If we look at the dominance of Bitcoin over time, look how high it went last time. Look how high it's gone now. It might, who knows, it might shoot up here before we get more altcoin take off. I don't know. Let's just say it were to come down, I'm just guessing, no idea, before this is all over, maybe 50%. And then let's look at Ethereum. You'll see what I'm getting at in a second. Ethereum in this market, where might it go? Eesh, I don't know. Well, maybe it sticks around 10%. Okay, that's 50% Bitcoin, 10% Ethereum. So we look at the total market, 3.28 trillion. I've heard people say 8 trillion total, 10 trillion total, 12 trillion total. We're going to use a round number of 10 trillion. So we just said that Bitcoin would be 50%, Ethereum would be 10%. That's a total of 60. You take 10 trillion and you say 60% of it is going to stay with Bitcoin and Ethereum. 40% of it is going over to the everything else. Okay. Well, 40% of 4 trillion, what? No. 40% of 10 trillion is 4 trillion. So what did we just do? We created a scenario to watch, because if the total market gets to 10 and Bitcoin and Ethereum around 60%, that leaves 4 trillion for total 3. And that's what we said we needed in order for ADA. We need to hit this 4 trillion in order for ADA to actually be able to hit a 4x. That would mean that the total 3 market of altcoins, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, gets to 4 trillion. It then means that Cardano would perform the same rate as the market. Rising tide lifts all boats. It could potentially get to 4.6. It could underperform. The market may not do that well, but the way I use these numbers is that's why I tie all of my predictions and my sell levels back to my forest view. Okay? Is total market look like it's going to get to that 10 trillion? Does it look like the altcoin market will get to that 4 trillion? And is ADA performing along with the market or not? If so, then these might play out. If not, I may have to reevaluate. So I'm starting with sell levels below the 1.95. Let's just say 1.8. Instead of 2.95, I might do 2.7. I don't think I'm going to, maybe I'll let a little ride in case it does get up here, but you can see where I'm going to be putting my sell levels. We got 195, 295, 395, probably a little below those. Now what's interesting is recently, in the last 30 days, I always say, look at the categories, category of layer ones. How is yours doing within their category? The last 30 days, you can see Bitcoin up, Ethereum up. But other than those, as you scroll down, Cardano was 52% up. So was Tron. Nothing else matches that. Hedera 350, outlier. Near 23, 27. Mantra 159. Algorand 158. So it's in the top 5 gainers within L1. So what does that mean? Well, it means it's outperforming. Okay, great. We got a 10 trillion mark for total. We got a 4 trillion mark for total 3. We want Cardano to keep up with both of those. If so, then I believe it can get to these levels. So I set it at those levels. There you go. That's my price prediction and how I deal with Cardano. And if you just, kind of go back through what I just said, you can take that little template and essentially apply it to all of the altcoins, which is what I do. So I'll be doing more videos about these. I started off on my channel with a lot of videos on just generally speaking about the different coins and why you may like them or not like them. But now we're in a different part of the market. Now we're in the part of the market where we're watching altcoins start to move. And when things start to move and the whole market moves, that's when you got to start looking at potentially getting out. So that's why I'm going to focus more on these videos, as well as some tutorials for those of you that don't know how to do some of the basic things. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. I always say, let's make generational wealth together with crypto. Bye.